Hello, welcome to Synchronicity Talk Radio for your mind, body, and soul. I'm your host, Marie Benard, and we have a really special guest today. I always say it's a special guest and super excited, but actually I made a special exception because, as you know, I've kind of shifted away from the spirituality genre and more talking about psychology now. But today, our guest, you may remember her from the movie What the Bleep Do We Know? She channels Ramtha. She's also the creator of Ramtha's School of Enlightenment in Yelm, Washington. Very charismatic woman, very controversial school. So we're going to be talking about that today. Today's guest is JZ Knight. Welcome to the show, JZ.
Oh, my heck, Marie, it's such a great opportunity to be with you and Canada. Hello, Canada.
Yay. Yeah, you're just not very far away from us.
We're neighbors.
Yeah.
I like it.
I really love your energy. You sound so excited. So thank you so much for being on the show today. I was thrilled when I received the email that you were available for interviews. So I'm curious, though, what is it that, because you haven't done a lot of interviews with smaller shows like mine, so what was it that you're out there promoting now and wanting to educate people on?
Well, it's not so much promoting, but at channeling Ramtha and having this very bizarre life for 39 years, I sort of semi-retired from the company. I am their emeritus, and I had time, for the first time in a long time, actually, to be able to just tell people what I've learned and what I have experienced that may or may not be helpful for them in their lives, and doesn't cost you anything. All you have to do is chat like this.
Cool. I love it. Well, I'm so glad that you have time to chat because you're just a fascinating person. Like you said, you've had a very unconventional life. Now,
yes, to say the least.
So tell us a little bit for people who maybe aren't familiar with what you do and Ramtha. I'm a skeptic. I have to warn you. So what's the deal with channeling Ramtha?
Well, first off, let me address skeptics. There are two kinds of skeptics that I've run across, and God bless you all. There are two kinds. There are those that no matter how much you try to give them proof, you're never going to change their mind because it's not their job to have their mind changed. So they're professional skeptics. Then there are skeptics who are just there because they've never had the experiences in their own life, and because they haven't had personal experience to something other outside of our box. For example, because they haven't had firsthand experience, they have the ability to doubt, and I think it's a healthy thing to have that. But also at the same time, be open to a greater mind and greater experiences. Just don't shut the door on them because you want to be called a skeptic, therefore not being aligned with anything outside of social consciousness. So, fine with me.
Okay, good. Oh, I love that you're open to the skepticism in me. So how did you just wake up one morning and some dude was talking out of your mouth? I mean, how did Ramtha come about?
I like it, dude. No, the story's fairly well known. 1977, my husband and I was a dentist, and as you know, we live in this lovely Pacific Northwest up into Canada, and we were hikers. We were part of a club that hiked, and I had two young children, two sons in grade school, and we were just making pyramids. I mean, I was a dentist wife, and we were making pyramids because pyramids at that time was the rage, pyramid energy, pyramid this, pyramid that. And if you go back to 1977, you'll see that, in fact, that's what it was. And what we were doing, sort of through a scientific mind, was to conduct our own tests, to make these little pyramids to scale and align them to true north. And so we had a cacophony of things underneath. The means to the end, of course, is how could we lighten our backpacks, and if we could preserve food. I mean, what a great idea. So we started that on a Friday night, in our house, pull down the shades in case anybody saw us doing anything strange. Wouldn't let the children come in, and so we had little pyramids, all over my kitchen. I had my oven doors open. I had things on them, and my husband would go along and make sure they hadn't been disturbed, that they were aligned. So we had compasses, and that was on a Friday night, and we were just full on in remarkable yet hidden discoveries. And Sunday we were up all night, and then most of the day Saturday doing this and checking on our test items like bologna, milk, wine, razor blades. All the things that they said it would work on. And about 2:30, we were just sitting at the table. You couldn't walk through my kitchen or dining room without disturbing these little pyramid Egyptian models. And so I just put one on my head and started laughing. I said, well, maybe it will help my brain. And it was at 2:30 on Sunday, not at night, but in the afternoon. And this light filled into the kitchen, and the compass on the table started spinning like an airplane. It started whining, and there was this being. You can read more about how that all happened in my book, A State of Mind, that was published in 1987. And once you read that, you'll understand that this was something I wasn't searching for. This is something that happened to me, and continued the path for the next 39 years and changed my life tremendously. I didn't even know who Edgar Casey was, so I was pretty much a greenhorn, but loved God always. And so this is how my experience happened. And the fact that I don't just open my mouth and some dude speaks out, it was actually a process of training for about 2 years. And we have just recently completed DNA tests with 3 labs and 1 major lab to confirm all the 3 blind test labs across the states. And my DNA is different than Ramtha's, and that just made medical history. So it's not something that I just go into some sort of trance. I don't trance. I don't meditate. I don't do any of that. I just leave my body. And the results that were underwent in 1996, 2-year study, scientific study, found, in fact, that there was a phenomenon that went on that was a major sort of thing. So I sort of have near-death experiences, and I've been having them for 39 years. Ramtha is the being who coined the term channeling that became very popular in our lexicon today, because I wasn't in a trance. I wasn't aware. I wasn't, I was gone. I went down this tunnel. I don't even remember ever having done that, but once on the other side, then I did see and remember. So this is what started Ramtha's great iconic movement in the 80s, and he was a 1980s icon. And his message was very simple. It was, behold God, that God was something not in religion, and God was not insecure. You could call it anything and everything, because it was, and that inside of us, we were all essentially divine beings, and went on with that message that sort of cleaned up the spiritual New Age community to where that focus became upon the divinity of people rather than the phenomenon that sometimes gets way out there and it becomes laughable. Mm. There you go. So the dude has been tested.
The dude. All right. Well, we'll talk more about that in just a moment. Right now, we are speaking with JZ Knight. She channels Ramtha. JZ is the developer of Ramtha's School of Enlightenment, which is in Yelm, Washington, just across the border. And we'll be right back with more Synchronicity. Talk radio for your mind, body, and soul in just a moment.